My name is Joyce. For as long as I can remember, my role in my family was simple. I was the help. My younger sister, Emma, was the princess. She got the praise, the presents, and the spotlight. I got the chores, especially in the kitchen. But last Christmas Eve, everything changed. My mother demanded I cook a huge last-minute dinner for 25 of Emma's most important friends. That was the moment I finally said no. What happened next didn't just change our family, it exposed a secret that left a room full of powerful people, including a famous CEO, in complete shock. Before I tell you how I went from being the family maid to having my parents beg for my forgiveness, let me know if you're out there. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. I read every single one. Now, let me take you back to that cold December night. I was in my apartment, packing my suitcase, when my phone rang. Mom flashed on the screen. I took a deep breath. I already knew it wouldn't be good. Joyce, canceled whatever little plans you have for tomorrow, my mother said, not even bothering with a hello. Her voice was sharp and commanding. Emma is hosting her networking group. Very important people, 25 guests. You need to be here by noon to start cooking. I felt my hand tighten around the phone. Mom, I can't. I have plans. Plans? She laughed, a cold, short sound. What plans could you possibly have? This is for Emma's career. These are people who matter. Don't embarrass us. The line went dead. I looked down at my own phone. On the screen was an email from Isabella Rossi, the CEO of a huge hotel chain called Luxhaven. My meeting with her was the next day. It was for a $2 million contract. My mother had no idea. My family thought I was unemployed. They believed I lived in a tiny apartment and spent my days waiting for their instructions. The truth was, I had built my own catering company from the ground up. I was a CEO. I had 50 employees. And the woman my mother wanted me to cook for, Isabella Rossi, was my most important client. My phone buzzed again. A text from Emma. Mom says you're cooking tomorrow. Don't mess this up for me. I looked at my plane ticket. My flight to Florida for the meeting was at 8 p.m. the next day. I had a choice. Be their servant for one more day and lose everything I'd worked for, or finally choose myself. My hands weren't even shaking. The decision was clear. I called my mother back. I'm not coming, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I have a business trip. She was furious. What business? You don't have a business. You're being selfish. If you do this, don't bother coming back. Then I guess this is goodbye, I said quietly, and I hung up. I turned off my phone, finished packing, and got in the car to the airport. As the plane took off, I finally breathed. Somewhere below me, my family was descending into chaos, and I was flying toward my future. The next evening, I walked into a beautiful resort in Florida for my dinner meeting with Isabella Rossi. I was nervous, but ready. Isabella arrived looking a little tired. She said, Joyce, so lovely to finally meet you. I have to apologize. I'm coming straight from the most bizarre party in Connecticut. My heart beat a little faster. Oh? Yes, she said, shaking her head. The hostess, a Mrs. Whitlock, promised this incredible home-cooked meal by her daughter. We arrived, and there was nothing. No food. They ended up serving us delivery pizza on their fancy china. I stayed perfectly calm. That sounds awkward. It was a disaster, Isabella continued. The mother spent the whole night complaining about her older daughter, the one who was supposed to cook, called her unreliable, a failure, a disappointment to the family. She sighed. It was so unprofessional. The irony was so huge, it was almost hard to believe. The woman she was talking about was me. The CEO she was about to sign a multi-million-dollar deal with was the same failure she'd just heard being insulted. I didn't say a word. The next morning, we met to sign the contract. Just as we were about to start, Isabella's assistant rushed in with an iPad. "Miss Rossi, you need to see this. It's about the party last night." Someone had posted a family photo from my parents' house online. Isabella looked at the photo, then at me, then back at the photo. Her face shifted from confusion to pure shock. "Joyce, this woman, this is your mother. The daughter they were complaining about, that's you." The room went completely silent. "Yes," I said. "They have no idea?" she asked, her voice full of wonder. "Your family has no idea you run this incredible company?" "None," I replied. "They think I'm a failure." Isabella didn't get angry. She started to laugh. It was a genuine, surprised laugh. "Oh, this is too perfect," she said. She spent the entire evening tearing down her daughter, and that daughter is the brilliant CEO I've been trying to work with for years. Then she did something incredible. She picked up her phone and called my mother right there in front of everyone. "Mrs. Whitlock, Isabella Rossi here. I'm calling to say the dinner last night was an experience." She paused. "But I wanted to let you know, I just signed a $2 million contract with the most talented entrepreneur I know. Your daughter, Joyce Whitlock, the CEO of Prestige Palette." I can only imagine the sound on the other end of the line. Isabella hung up and smiled at me. "Now," she said, sliding the contract across the table, "let's make this official." As I signed my name, my phone, which had been silent, suddenly exploded. Dozens of missed calls, text from my mother, my father, my sister. "Mom, answer your phone. What is going on?" "Emma, is this some kind of joke?" "Dad, your mother is hysterical. Call us." The truth was out. In the days that followed, the story spread. A Forbes article came out featuring me on the cover with the headline, "The Invisible CEO, How Joyce Whitlock Built an Empire in Secret." My family's perfect reputation in our small town shattered. They were humiliated, not by me, but by their own blindness. It took months, but they finally reached out to apologize. We met at a restaurant in my city, my territory. They looked different, smaller, humbled. "We were wrong," my father said, and it was the first truly honest thing he'd said to me in years. "We were blind, we're ashamed." I laid down my boundaries. I would have a relationship with them only if it was based on respect, as equals. They agreed. My story isn't about revenge. It's about respect. You should never have to make yourself small to make others feel big. Your worth doesn't decrease because someone else refuses to see it. If you've ever felt invisible in your own life, I want you to know this. You don't need anyone's permission to be successful. You don't need their validation to be valuable. Choose yourself every single time. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear about a time you had to stand up for yourself. Share your story in the comments below. It might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if you believe in knowing your worth, please subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks for listening. This is Joyce, reminding you to always add tax to your worth.